Welcome back and thanks for tuning in, guys. Andre with Eagle Express, and I wanted to talk about February 2024. Emails, phone calls, text messages, all kinds of things I get nonstop, and everybody was waiting for some kind of a miracle in 2024. Thought, well, hey, after the holidays things are going to get better, things are going to improve, and we were all hoping for that. But the fact is that so far February has been one of the worst months in probably the last 6 months, I would say. So far, we're only in the beginning, but still, it's been slow, it's been cheap. West Coast has been horrible for loads. So if you guys aren't planning to come home to the West Coast, I would stay out somewhere else and kind of avoid it. That's just my thing, because we knew it was slower, and we never had any issues really as far as getting our drivers out of here. Yeah, sometimes for some people it would take a little bit, but for the most part, we got everybody out pretty quickly. Lately, it's been bad. It's been slower, and freight has just been cheap. You know what I mean? Maybe we're just not used to it. Maybe I don't know. My guess is we're not used to the cheap rates. We're still trying as best as we can to run for 80, 85, sometimes 90 cents a mile, depending on some specialty loads. But for the most part, we've been, loading our drivers, and driver pay is 85 cents a mile, no percentage takeouts, no dispatch deductions, none of that. Straight pay to the driver. While all the rest of the people that are looking to switch companies, that are emailing, calling, and speaking to me, says that they've been having a hard time getting mileage at 70 cents a mile. So there's companies out there that are bidding 70 cents a mile and cannot get a load, and their drivers are standing around when we're trying to bid 80, 85, and we're barely moving. So what does that tell you guys? That the rates have dropped, fuel dropped, rates dropped. There are loads, but there's not so many of those nice long ones like we like most our drivers like. Those 300-400 mile trips, there's plenty of those, but who wants to have a 400 mile run and then have your dispatch be bidding on loads for you, not be able to get anything the next day for you maybe, and then you're really, within the last 2 days, you only cleared 400 miles and made what, $400? Come on, it doesn't make any sense. We're in this to make money. So anything and everything I say about money wise, I'm not talking about 100 mile, 200 mile, or even 300 mile runs. I'm talking about decent mileage for decent money, because we're in this to make money as far as drivers go. That's what I'm talking about. So those of you that are saying, oh, I get paid $1 a mile and I have no problem getting that, well, if you're driving 150 miles, 200 miles, 300 miles, yeah, that's what they should be paying. And back in the day, you could get double that for those short miles, because that's how things used to be. Nobody wanted that crap. Everybody wanted, 1,000 miles plus, because that's what drivers can clear. In 24 hours, can clear a lot more than that. So, why would somebody want 300-400 miles when you can clear 1,000 miles easily in 24 hours and get yourself $1,000? But the fact of the matter is, I'm saying this not just from a driver perspective. I'm not saying this from somebody that's sitting at the truck stop and collecting all kinds of weird other information or other driver thoughts that has nothing to do with dispatching at all. They only think of their own thing. They only think of what some other guy said somewhere, or what the guy next to them says that they run for. You guys don't know who runs for what. You guys don't know who gets what kind of a deduction taken out of their pay. So if they're getting 15-20% taken out, and they're saying they run for 85, 90 cents, maybe even $1 a mile. Well, take out 15-20% from that and see what they're left over with. Also ask them how quickly they get paid for their loads. See if they get paid weekly for their loads. So all of that matters. Everything matters, especially these days, because things are so tight and tough that we recently had a load that we got loaded with and they unloaded a driver because, and you gotta understand that this stuff happened because it's not an easy, short, little, quick process to find a broker for a load, agree on a payment, sign the contract with the broker. Broker finds a vehicle, posts a load, has an awarding bidder that gets the load. Driver, we get the information, driver gets the information, arrives on site, gets loaded, sends us paperwork, and as he's about to leave, all of a sudden shipper says, sorry, we're canceling this because, you know, we figured it's cheaper for somebody to rent something out there where the delivery location is versus paying somebody to haul this cross country. So everybody's penny pinching right now, everybody. And it's not just dispatchers, it's not just brokers, it's everybody. The shipper, the customer, broker, everybody. Everybody wants to eat, and that's how things are. So it's tough. A lot of big brokers, you know, yeah, I'm not saying everybody's working in a minus, but a lot of big brokers are working almost at a wash too. So you guys got to understand that. I would love to get a broker channel and listen to what brokers have to say, because that would be awesome to hear firsthand if they're not lying about things. I'd rather listen to a broker as well and see an actual broker that's dealing with all this and see their side of the story, because driver has only his side of the story. Driver thinks, well, maybe dispatch is lazy, well, maybe this, well, maybe that, well, maybe that. Well, maybe another company dispatch is lazy if they're getting paid hourly. We at Eagle, we don't get paid hourly, so my dispatchers get a percentage of the load that they get. So you got to understand that if there's no load, they didn't get nothing for you, they didn't make anything off of you. Same thing with another driver, same thing with anything. So we only get paid when we book you the load and you actually deliver it on time. That's how we get paid. If you're standing, that means we're not making anything either. So hope that makes sense for you guys. I'm not here to cry about it. I'm not here to say help me out or do something else, and it's none of that. I just putting out the information out there for all the people that are calling around looking for a better place to work at. You guys got to understand that when it's bad everywhere. Those of you who know that things are slower, and a lot of companies are hiring and working only with OTR drivers over the road, not local. And sorry, the video cut out a little bit. So a lot of people are thinking that, you know, I can go work somewhere else and somebody else is going to pay me more. You guys got to understand that all of us, all these companies that deal with expediting freight, we all see the same load boards, we all use the same load boards, and everybody sees the same exact load, except for maybe, you know, some of us, maybe some other companies as well, are in the cahoots with some brokers that we get phone calls before the load goes on the board. That's not a secret. That happens all the time. When they want a specific company on a certain load that does a great job, they'll call or they'll email and say, hey, you guys got anybody nearby? And if we do, we get it. It doesn't even hit the board. Same with other companies out there. I guarantee you, and I know it, if it happens to us, it happens to other companies as well. So we're not the only ones that are going to be dealing with brokers and loads that are not on the board. So yes, there is an advantage to that. That just goes to the, to to those people that say, hey, I'm going to get my own load board and I'm going to load myself. Well, there's a lot of established companies out there with good reputations that are struggling as well right now. And you guys, if you're thinking that you're going to do better with one unit, hopefully getting on a load board, you know, that has all this freight, it's going to be tough. It's going to be years and years and years, and you got to clear a lot of loads yourself if you're the driver to be able to put out your reputation out there for this to be worthwhile for you and for the broker to be able to trust you with their load, because in the end they are hunting for a good price, but they're also hunting for a good reputable carrier to send the freight with, because they don't want to end their career or their business with only somebody screwing up and them losing a customer. That happens all the time. People screw brokers all the time, and that broker doesn't deal with them anymore. So we have enough of accidental issues and even issues that we really have no control over, that some brokers get mad and we get blacklisted for a few years. But hey, you know, in the end, everybody knows who we are, what we do, the honesty, the truth. You know, we don't show off, we show up. That's what we do. And if there's ever an issue, then we tell them how it is. If we screwed up, we screwed up. If driver screwed up, I'm sorry, we take the blame. You know what I mean? If dispatch messed up on a time zone or something like that, we messed up on a time zone. We're humans. We'll take the blame, whatever it takes. You know, and sometimes we get blamed for things that are out of our control, out of the driver's control. Nothing you can do about it. All we can do is do good updates, provide them with good information. If there's delays, if there's anything else, that's what we can do. But as far as the rates go, guys, they're not great. They didn't get better. Things got worse, actually. So we'll see how long this lasts. Those of you who are still asking the same question over and over and over again, and are still looking for the same answer over and over and over again, is this a good time to get in the business? In my opinion, there were better times. Is this a good time? It might be, because it might be the best time. What if things don't get better and just get worse? Maybe it is a good time right now. But you got to be prepared. You got to have the patience. You got to have the patience to be able to sit and wait for your load. You got to be able to love camping out in your van, because, you know, in a hotel, on the days that you don't run, you can't afford that. Unless, you know, you're just doing this for fun, then yeah, go ahead. But just telling you guys how it is, no sugarcoating, no addition, no sprinkling anything on top. I'm telling you guys how it is. So rates are still low. We're doing our best we can, but we're spinning our wheels too, because the people that are hunting for another company to work with, and if they're working already and have been for months and months for 70 cents a mile and having a hard time with that, then you guys got to understand that we are maybe overpricing a few things, and maybe we got to get together with everybody else to keep busy every day. I'm not saying let's lowball and let's grab whatever we can, all the freight we can for 70 cents a mile. I'm just telling you guys that maybe just to get past this, it's time again to maybe drop the rate if needed to be, just to keep it moving. Because 10 cents, 1,000 miles, that's $100. If it's a 500 mile run, it's only $50. So you could be driving, instead of 80 cents a mile, 70 cents a mile, $50 less, but you actually moving and you made money, versus you not moving and didn't make any money. Write your comments, let me know what you guys think. What are you guys' ideas about this? Because in the end, we have to win the load. It's not like we have it in hand and we're just waiting for a driver to become available in a certain area so we can open the drawer, dig through them. Oh, here's one out of Missouri. Here you go, Josh. You know, or here's one from California. Here you go, Alex. Doesn't happen that way. I wish it would, but it doesn't happen that way. We got to work for it. Broker has to work for it, bid the load, win the load. We got to get it, deliver it, then we get rewarded with pay. So that's how it is. It's no secret that things are the way they are. Trucking industry altogether, no matter what, car hauling, reefer, step bed, flatbed, step deck, anything, lowboy, dry van, everything is in the gutter right now. The rates are down altogether. It doesn't matter what you work, what kind of trailer you're with, what kind of truck you drive, they're just down. They're just down. And everybody stands around. It's part of the game right now to have the patience to stand and wait for a day, 2, maybe even 3 days for a load. It just happens. If you guys don't believe it, go to the truck stop and take a little notebook and do a poll with all the drivers out there. And go talk to the semi drivers and find out from them how many days a week they stand around without a load. Or go talk to the box truck drivers and see how many days a week they stand around on an average. And then you can go and, if you really want to, go speak to your sprinter colleagues. And if they're truthful, they'll tell you how many days or how many times a week they have downtimes and days that they don't go anywhere. So right now, that's how it is. It's kind of the new norm. Before, things were better. Things were not like this, and driver was in demand. Right now, there's a lot less freight. So brokers are picking up whatever they can, the best ones for themselves, because many companies have their own fleets of vehicles. Brokers do. So they obviously load themselves with the best stuff, and then whatever's left over, whatever they can't cover, whatever their customer can't cover, that's what's left over for people like us and everybody else who's not a broker. Hope that kind of, puts you in a correct mindset. I'm not saying be prepared, to be prepared for famine or something like that, but tighten up the belt, do whatever you can to save money. Anything helps, and we're just hoping and waiting for better times. That's all. Those of you guys who are asking about a brand new van, if they should buy one, you should not buy one. If you're wanting to buy a used one, go ahead and buy a used one if you can afford it. But if it's going to set you back, put you in debt, put you in a worse financial situation than you are now, then avoid all that altogether. Hope that helps. God bless you guys. If you have any questions, comment down in the comment section. If you guys want to know more news, more updates, more of how to do this, there's about, maybe 500 videos now on the channel. You guys can look at those. Been doing this for years, showing you guys for years how to do this, talking about expediting. So God bless you guys. Take care. See each other next time.